Hello everybody, my name is Hofstad's Tortoise and welcome to a tutorial for the 7 Years' War. Today I'm going to be talking all about the economy system. This economy system is very complicated. It is nothing like Total War and can easily be compared to Victoria 2 by Paradox Interactive. So, I'm not very good when it comes to economics, and I'm pretty bad when it comes to numbers. So, if anybody does know something that I said wrong, please don't be afraid to tell me. Otherwise, I'll be saying wrong crap, and it will make everything worse. And if I do see something, I will put an addendum in the description of my video correcting something I had said. Now, first off, let's look at our financials. It's pretty simple table up here. You can see the income tax, which is done by all the citizens, the industry profits, which is done by your companies, trade income, which is through other nations, administration, corruption, and army payments. These two, administration and corruption, you can't really do much about that. Army payments and fleet payments are pretty simple. You can see the surplus, which is, I think it's just the total amount of losses, which you can also see up here. You also can issue debt and get coin debasements. Not too sure about those, but they'll probably say, yep, it just says it right there. So just two things to increase your treasury with cutbacks. Now, I'm going to be talking about companies first and foremost. There are two types of companies in this game. The first one I'm going to be called natural resource producers. The next I'm going to call them crafters. First, we're going to talk about natural resource producers. Natural resource producers are just buildings that have been placed on natural resource and produces things called ooh, sorry, the volume was loud on my end. And these produce pre-goods. Wheat is an example of this. Wheat can then be sent to a crafter, such as a mill, which is up around here somewhere. It takes the wheat from the farms and then produces them into flour. Now, in this video, I'm going to be referring to these individual boxes as bundles, just as a little FYI. So let's look at what the production screen is. Up here you have your staff utilization, which is essentially how much of your workforce is being used to work the company. The more workers you have, the higher the rate of production. However, this will also increase the salary. So you can lower the amount and decrease your salary. However, this comes at a cost of lower production and a lower amount of employment. I think the second one is right, I'm not too sure. Here is the selling price, and this is very important. The game is dominated by traders, and these are very dynamic in how they respond to the global market, the province market, and the profits that they can receive off selling their goods. Essentially, you want as many traders to come in as possible and buy things off you, and this is influenced by the price of the selling thing. You can influence the selling price by clicking up and down here. Now, you're probably wondering, how do I determine what the selling price is? To do this, you go down here into Goods Overview and look at the selling price on the provincial market. This is very important because this is provincial, this Goods Overview thing. And you look at how much it is going for on the markets. And this is its average rate. So what you want to do is sell it down towards an average, sell it just below this number here. It should increase the amount of surplus. So we lower the price down to, let's say, 103. Hopefully that will start selling. This may or may not happen, you don't know. Now let's look at how companies can work together. Over here we have loam, and down here we have a craft producer. It's pretty hard to see because it's hidden inside this box here. So let's do this, and you can select, when you do craft producers, you can choose what you want them to make, and they all require pre-goods. So we click here, and we're going to tell this one to do brick. I'll explain why. Up here is loam. Loam, holy crap. Loam is required to produce brick. So what we're going to do is build a mine, just a small one over it, and let that build up. Now when this builds up, traders in this game also respond to distance. So, the closer that these two are together, the traders will go over. This is how it works. The traders will go over here and produce and buy loam if they see it at a good price. They'll go over back towards the city and sell it on the market. The market will then sell the loam to the craft producer, who will then use it to produce a brick, and they will sell that off at a much higher rate than what the pre-good is, and that way you make a net profit. Wow, this is very, very complicated. Now you can influence the trading market in a provincial basis by looking at these buttons here. So you can raise them both up, loam and brick, and that way there'll be a lot of loam and brick floating around in the provincial market, and more chance of it will go down into this area here. Once they have loam, they can start producing brick, and once this production meter is gone up in green, it's still building up right now, this will come up and they will sell off a bundle for the global price of that is selling at 296 for 361. So we could possibly raise this up a little. Wrong one. The lower the price, the higher the chance you have of a trader coming in and saying, yes, I would like to buy this. Now let's look at what you can do in the provincial level. There are 4 types of trade in on the provincial level. There's provincial, country, provincial trade, country trade, provincial supply, and foreign trade, and these are all very different. You can mouse over these blue icons to get a general idea of what's going on. So this one says increase the priority of the provincial trade to instruct traders to focus on the pickup of goods produced by companies and trade with natives. So what this means is that the higher this priority is, the higher the chance there will be of trade going in towards the natives. So you are steering the trade towards natives. And the more natives you have on your side, they will form their alliance with you and form war things. I'm not 100% sure how natives work in this game, why they're important. Now, country trade focuses on provincial trade, and this is what you would actually do once you have all your markets set up. So that way, you can just focus on the trade in here, and this will self-isolate and produce a lot of goods in a single area. Now, provincial supply focuses on crafting. What this means is that traders will lean towards picking up pre-goods and then develop and send them towards the crafters. That way, you can get a net profit. So in this is what I would use in this one here. It also increases the rate towards the building sites. Yet focuses supply on building sites, so we want this to be as high as possible. Now, foreign trade is good for ports, especially for places such as over in the Americas. For instance, this group over here, this bunch over here has lots of cotton, and cotton is one of the things that is not produced in Europe. There are several things that aren't produced in Europe, such as spice, furs, and tobacco. So if you have a province that's at a seaport and is producing tobacco and spices, you'd want to increase the amount of foreign trade, because these go for a killing on the global markets. You can see that down here, cotton for 215, tobacco 500, furs for 500, sugar for 5. These are called luxury goods, I think. Right, cotton isn't a luxury good, that's my bad, I'm not 100% sure. Alright. Now another nifty thing you could do is click on goods overview, the production buildings, and that way you can see a general idea of all the production that's going on. You can see the amount of pre-goods they're receiving. So this one's not getting any resource supply at all, because it's not producing furs for some reason, I'm not sure why. Alright. So that's a general overview of all of your companies. So you can pick and choose based on who's not producing a profit or not. Over here is the goods overview on the global market. I'm not 100% sure how this one works because of these little symbols. I'm not sure what they mean. There's no toolbar up here, which is a little bit unfortunate. So I have no idea what any of this crap means. Okay, what else to talk about? You can also do trade agreements with nations. Again, I'm not sure how this works either. It doesn't really tell you what it does, which is a little bit disappointing. I really should figure out how that works. Hello, Shane. Alright, what to talk about next? What to talk about next? Well, we're gonna increase the speed and hopefully they'll get that building done relatively soon. Okay, that's gonna take absolutely forever. Alright, what else can we talk about while that's building up? We can go back into financials, look how everything is going. We're getting a massive amount of trade income, but low industry profits. So we're actually going to see if we can fix that. So I'm just going to go around. Let's see what's doing what. Okay. Let's look at the farms over here. Right, this is doing a profit. This is not doing a profit. Why is it not doing a profit? Probably because its selling price is not that good. So we'll lower that and see how that goes. That's now 20 below the provincial market. And we'll lower that one as well. And what's this? That's making a very good profit. Small mine 129 at Loam. Yep, that's definitely not going to make a profit. So move that down to 99. Not making a profit either because it's just below but not that good. Bye bye. What else? Got the farm here, 119, not very good, lower that. 88, that is very not good. We'll lower this because it's really doing not that much good. If a place is doing really badly, you could possibly tell them to break away and completely get rid of it. That way it will get rid of the salaries and the fixed costs. 116, 120, lower that. We'll increase the speed a bit. Small lumber mill, 119, definitely not making a profit. Coal, small mines, plus 95, that's a good profit. Mill, 172. Have they changed yet? No, they have not. I think it actually... No, I lowered the price, but it's not doing much of an effect, which is quite disappointing. Alright, that's gone positive. That's still negative. Yeah, sometimes it's just kind of stupid. It doesn't really make much sense. The good thing is, though, if you can't be fucked to work through these selling prices, you can just click on this button here with the left mouse button and it will tell this to adjust the price itself. But sometimes there's just not much you can do due to an overabundance of it on the local market, because there's just not much demand for it. So if you hover over it, you can see that it has -1 by the inhabitants, so it is also dependent on supply and demand. Oh look, there you go, now we have plus 50 over there. Plus 45, okay, that's working a little bit better now, thank you. And now that's at plus 5, minus 94, 105, 122, lower it a bit more. Alright, this is I'm just going to stop. Wait, no, I don't want to stop the video here because I want to... Nope, you know what? It's going to take fucking forever to produce. Hi, Magus, I see you. Probably talking about Dark Souls again. I really do want that game. Alright, let's go back to financials. Industry profits are still shit, but there's really not that much we can do about it. Because, honestly, I'm not 100% sure how it works. If I am fucking this up, please tell me, because I want to know how this bloody game works. It's actually quite good if it wasn't so esoteric. Oh my god, what is wrong with this thing? Alright, I'm just going to stop this tutorial here because it's a bit of a clusterfuck. So, yeah, if you enjoyed this, leave a like and a comment. If I'm wrong, chew me out and make fun of me. I don't care, this is all a bit strange for me. But if you're going to chew me out, be freaking constructive. That's all I ask. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a good day.